Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Tim and I'm developing a game called Head Wizard. Today I want to show you the progress I've been making in the past couple of weeks, so let's get into it. The main thing I've been working on in the last couple of weeks are the environments. These are a park, a cemetery and a construction yard. As you can see, I added a bunch of props to make the environment look like a park. The background now has trees in it. Above the trees you can still see the buildings though, because the park is still located in a city. Between the foreground and the background I placed lanterns, trees and bushes and benches. Right now these props don't do anything except for look nice, but I'm thinking about making the benches sittable. When the player sits on them, the wizard will hold up a newspaper and enemies won't recognize you. I'm not sure if this feature will work, but I'm going to try it out in the future. The cemetery has a similar look to the park, but it features gravestones instead of benches. And the large gravestones have an interesting property, namely you can stand on them. This helps create interesting puzzles. For the construction yard I mainly made the tiles, but I haven't really implemented unique mechanics yet, so I will cover this area in more detail in the future. Remember the observer from an earlier video? Well, I added a block with an eye on it to indicate that it's looking at something, and this will be the visual aid for the observer. In this case, the observer is looking at another block with an eye, and the player has to break the line in order to progress. This is where the standable gravestones comes in handy, because the player can put a statue on it and break the line of sight this way. Of course, this is a very simple puzzle, but later on in the game I plan on combining mechanics to make the puzzles a little bit harder. The observer blocks also emit a little bit of red or green light depending on their state, and I think this small touch helps the game feel a lot. I'm still wondering if the player doesn't mistake the red line for a killing laser though, so I think I might have to solve that problem by designing a level in such a way that the player has to go through the laser, or that the player starts out by standing inside the laser and sees that it's not harmful this way. I also added a bit of ambient lighting to make the lighting less dark. In case you missed it, the cemetery has a little bit of green light. This makes it feel a little bit more horror-y, I think. I also improved the feel of the jump a little bit. I wrote some code to modify the X and Y scale for the sprite and create a stretch effect this way. This happens when you jump and also when you land. Some of you commented though that the front flip from the browser game is still missing, so I'm going to look into that one in the next devlog. That's it for this devlog. Next week I will talk about how I made my first game without coding in a program that was not meant to make games in, so stay tuned. As always, if you have questions or feedback, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. For now, I want to thank you all for watching and I hope to see you next week.